Hello, hello, hello. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and you are watching SOS, where I'm saving our sex lives one bedroom at a time. I am excited to be here with you all today. Please make sure that you let me know where you're streaming from, drop your name and where you're streaming from so I can shout you out because I absolutely love to shout you out. That brings me so much joy to my life. I thank you all for showing up every single week. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure that you are telling all your friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, colleagues, everybody, your neighbors. Matter of fact, when the show is over, go knock on the door and tell them that they need to watch the replay but be live next week so they make sure they're getting all this good information. And again, this is something that it may not benefit you right now, but it may benefit you later on down the road. Also, it could be a situation where someone that is dealing with this exact same thing that we're talking about, or a topic may come up where there's something that again that they're dealing with and they need this information. So please be sure that you share. Hey Terry. Hello, hello, Franklin, Virginia, Day Mullings, Snuggles 668. You know what? I am feeling that Snuggles 668. I'm feeling your scream name. I'm loving, loving, loving. Which link are you wanting me to drop? I definitely will do that once I know what you're talking about. But again, thank you so much. Hey, Lady Z, Arizona. Ooh, it's hot there. It's hot there. Thank you for being here. And this show topic is going to be hot. So it's that'll be right up your alley, Lady Z. Hey, Kenny from Birmingham, Alabama. That's what's up. Thank you all for letting me know where you're streaming from. Please feel free to drop any questions that you would like me to answer. I'm happy to do that. If there's anything that resonates with you and speaks to you way deep down on your inside parts, drop a comment. I love to read your comments and I love when this is interactive. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into our topic today. It is, can cheating cause erectile dysfunction? Can cheating cause erectile dysfunction? The answer is a resounding yes, it can. Yes, it can. Cheating actually can cause erectile dysfunction. And guess what? It's on both sides of the coin. It is for men who have cheated and also for men who have been cheated on. So you may have been the faithful partner but been cheated on and are dealing with erectile dysfunction. And so let's just define it right quick to make sure everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. Erectile dysfunction is where you can't get or keep an erection. Erectile dysfunction is where you cannot get or keep an erection. And it can happen when you're masturbating or if you're having sex with a partner. So this is the truth. This is the truth. Most men will experience erectile dysfunction at some point in their life. So it can be really helpful to know what the basics are about erectile dysfunction and why it happens. And so, the ability for a male to get hard, stay hard, and ultimately orgasm literally can be impacted by so many different things. And guess what? Some of those factors are psychological, some of them are physical factors. And one of the psychological factors could involve cheating. So, I have clients come to me all the time, and literally they're talking about their struggles with erectile dysfunction. And many times it is psychological, it's not physical. But I will say, put it out there, that you definitely want to rule out the physical factors first. So that means go get a checkup. I know, my men out here, a lot of you struggle with going to the doctor, but the one time we can get you to go typically is when there's something going on with your male member. So I urge you that you want to rule out anything medical first. Make a doctor's appointment, get a full physical, get a checkup. Sometimes it's medications that causes erectile dysfunction. Sometimes it actually is a health condition that you have, and maybe there's a particular diagnosis that you have for something else, a health issue, health concern that's causing your erectile dysfunction. So we want to rule out the medical stuff first, and definitely we can handle the psychological piece. All right, so some things that we're going to talk about today, I just really want to give you a heads up, is if you have erectile dysfunction after you've been cheated on. The second thing is if you have erectile dysfunction after you have cheated. Third thing is if you are worried that your partner's erectile dysfunction is a sign of cheating. We're going to address that. And then also, if you're worried that your partner will cheat because you have erectile dysfunction. So, let's dive in. Let's dive in. I don't know if you could tell, like, I'm excited about this topic. I'm not excited because I know this is a struggle for men. Like, I know this is a sensitive topic, sensitive subject matter. I know that for sure. But I'm excited because I want you all to be educated. I want you to be informed about what's going on. And I also want to give you some hope because, it's not always bleak and dismal. So I definitely want to give you some encouragement today and give you some hope. So if you just bear with me, I promise it won't be all bleak and dismal. Okay. All right. So I told you that we're going to talk about a couple different scenarios. So the very first one is if your partner has cheated on you and now it's led to you having erectile dysfunction. And so we know that being cheated on, it literally it sucks. Like there's nothing fun about it. There's no way to sugarcoat that, make it come off like it's not that bad. No, it's awful. It sucks. It's the worst. And it can also add insult to injury if you are now struggling to get or maintain an erection after you've been cheated on. But again, I have good news. It's totally normal. Struggling with ED after infidelity is totally normal. It literally is a sign that you are having a natural human response. Well, why does it happen? Well, honestly, your body might go into shock. Your body really can go into shock when an individual finds out about infidelity or betrayal. It feels like a trauma. And so you could experience similar symptoms of PTSD. Here at Couples Academy, we talk about PISD all the time, which is post infidelity stress disorder. It's a real thing, it can happen, and it can have physiological manifestations when you're dealing with that level of stress and trauma. So, what are some signs? What do the symptoms look like? Being emotionally dysregulated. You are just kind of all over the place emotionally. It could be where you feel extremely numb and then you're flooded with anger or hurt. So you're kind of all over the place. Okay. Having these intrusive thoughts, which also can lead to triggers, which we know is a really big thing that is literally one of the packaging, a part of the packaging that comes with the effects of infidelity. You could feel overwhelmed. You could experience a loss of self-respect. There could be compulsive behavior, maybe even sleep disturbance. There could be mental confusion. And also, what I see most often are high levels of anxiety. High levels of anxiety. So, when your body is in this state of shock, it would be normal, very normal, to suffer from erectile dysfunction with your partner because you need the right mind and body signals for an erection to even happen. And so sometimes your libido takes a dip. If you're feeling betrayed by your partner, it's normal for your sex drive to literally disappear. It can be lower, but it also can completely disappear. And so, there's so much research out there to support how medical professionals they agree that stress, anxiety, exhaustion, they are all common causes of low libido. So if you're dealing with the emotions of being cheated on, you literally should expect your sex drive to take a dip, and you're most likely going to have difficulty with getting an erection. And that's because your brain simply won't be sending sexy signals to your penis. So everything starts with our mind. And the crazy thing is, I say this all the time. I don't know if you're listening to me, but I tell you that the mind truly is our central processing unit, just like a computer. You have a computer. Without the CPU, a mouse is just a mouse. A keyboard is just a keyboard. A monitor is just a monitor. Those things cannot function properly without that central processing unit. And that's how our brains are wired. That is how our bodies are wired. Nothing can happen without the mind. Okay. So that includes being able to get and maintain an erection. If the mind is not sending sexy signals to your penis, then your penis is not going to respond. Okay. All right. LaKeesha, what in God's name can we do about it? What can we do after you recognize the fact that I can't get an erection because I've been cheated on? Well, I've already told you it's normal to experience erectile dysfunction after being cheated on. But if you're going to stay with your partner, there are several things that you need to do. And the very first thing is you have got to look after yourself. You might need a little space. I'm not telling you to leave your home. I'm not telling you to leave your marriage. I'm not telling you that. I'm saying you may need some mental and emotional space. And just understand that infidelity recovery takes time. And during that time where you're going through this process, you really may need to explore your ideas about love, and you've got to confront your doubts and fears, because that's one of the things that keeps couples stuck many times, is they're stuck in their fears and their doubts and their insecurities and their lack of ability to trust their partner again. So you have to confront those doubts and fears, and you've got to explore your ideas about love. What does love look, feel, and sound like to you as an individual? And what is your love language? And what are your expectations from your spouse? Okay. And then you may need to get to support, support from friends. That's why Couples Academy is all about support groups. That's why we have groups like Foundry and groups like Unearth and the Moving Forward program and foundations and all of these things, because we know that a lot of times you're going to need a support group, and we have that available to you. The second thing you want to do after taking care of yourself is communicate, communicate, communicate. Communication is going to be vital to your success. And you're going to have a conversation with your spouse, and you're going to ask yourself some questions. You're going to ask, is my spouse going to be able to own how much they actually hurt me? Are they going to be able to own it? Is it going to feel safe and secure? Is it going to be a safe environment for me to communicate? That is so important, because you need to communicate and explore why the infidelity happened if you're going to repair your relationship successfully. So we have to be able to have a safe space to communicate. And if not, then you may need to bring in a third party, i.e., me. Okay, so you want to take care of yourself, you want to communicate, then you want to take things slow, you want to go at your own pace. So you have to think about like whether or not you're ready to have sex again. But you need to take your time, because initially the emotions might be all over the place, and they may, and they typically are more heightened when you reach the bedroom. So you've got to talk about how you want sex to be now. And if you need time, say that and explain that and stick to that. Don't jump back in too soon. You'll regret it. And it won't be a good experience for you or your partner. If you rather just hold each other, then ask for that. If your partner understands the pain that's been caused, then they'll be happy to go at your pace. I want to park here for a minute, because I want to say something about that, because I see this time and time again. When we jump back into having sex too soon, this is male or female, and I'm talking about the betrayed. When you jump back into having sex too soon, you're actually doing a disservice to yourself and to your spouse, because again, it will not be a pleasurable experience, or at least it will not reach the level of pleasure that you could have if you waited until you were ready. And sometimes that will send the wrong message or signal to your partner. If you jump back in too soon, it may send a message to them that you're good, that you're okay, that everything's all right, when it's really not. And so that gives now your partner a false sense of security and a false sense of healing because you're not there yet. And that's why you have to take your time, pace yourself, go at your own pace. Okay. Now, we're going to take a quick break. I don't want you to swipe left or right. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Do not go anywhere. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the SOS show.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Welcome back. Welcome back again. You are watching the SOS show. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and today we are talking about whether or not cheating can cause erectile dysfunction. If you're just joining us, the answer to that question is yes, a resounding yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Whether you were the betrayed or the betrayer, it can cause erectile dysfunction. I want to share something with you all that's coming up soon. It is actually the Phoenix Awards Gala, Couples Academy Phoenix Awards Gala. We are so excited. It's going to be Saturday, October the 7th, this year at the Hilton, Alpharetta, Georgia. 175 per person. You need to have your face in the place. We are celebrating marriage and love, the power of love and the resilience of marriage, and you need to be there. You can scan the QR code on the screen to get more information. If you have the Couples Academy app, it is in the app. Also, it is on the website, couplesacademy.org. So you have no excuse. We need to have your face in the place. And if you are going to attend this gala, and you're attending because you heard about the gala on the SOS show, you need to let the people know so they can park you at my table. You need to be there with me and my boo thing, my boyfriend, my baby daddy, my husband. You need to be at our table. So I want you guys, let me show you one more time. Scan that QR code. You need to have your face in the place October 7th in Alpharetta, Georgia for the Couples Academy Phoenix Awards Gala. I want to see you all there. All right. You can get to dress up, be fancy. It's the date night. We're not talking about cocktail dresses, ladies. We're talking about the floor length, the formal gowns. Okay, brothers, we need you in your tuxes. Okay. We need you in your tuxes. And so have your face in the place. All right, let's continue our conversation about can cheating cause erectile dysfunction. Again, this is one of those things where I know it's extremely sensitive. Don't be afraid to drop your questions or comments in the chat. All right. So where we ended right before the break was talking about, what happens if you actually are the one who was cheated on. And so now we're moving on to if you were the person who cheated and now you are having erectile dysfunction. So, judgment free zone. We're definitely just trying to get you back on track. Okay. So if you're struggling with erections after being unfaithful, you are not alone. And the reason why this can happen is because of an overwhelming amount of guilt and shame, feelings of guilt and shame. If your interest has shifted from your spouse to someone else, there literally is usually a deeper cause to explain why your erections are suffering in your relationship. But if you made a mistake and you still want to make it work with your spouse, then you got to deal with the guilt and shame. Because shame is one of the most difficult emotions we can feel, and it often manifests itself as anxiety. And so we know Cheating rarely feels good, and we're hardwired not to enjoy these feelings. When we get those intrusive thoughts and we feel bad about hurting somebody, even if they don't know, it can all lead to problems with normal arousal and ED. But there are definitely things that can be done to help you out. And so, again, you've got to deal with the guilt and shame. You have to deal with that because what it means is you're not in the right mental space to send signals to your penis to form an erection. Okay. So you've got to deal with the guilt and shame. And, when you're on that journey of healing and marital restoration, a healthy dose of guilt and shame is good. That's needed because that shows that you're remorseful, and it can help your partner begin to open up and trust you again because they can see that you feel bad about what you've done, and the guilt and shame helps you to make different choices moving forward. So a healthy dose is good, but if you're at an unhealthy level, an unhealthy dose of guilt and shame, then that's going to cause some issues with those signals going to your penis to form an erection. Okay, now what can we do? What can you do? First and foremost, you got to come clean. You have got to come clean. If you have cheated and your spouse is completely unaware of what you have done, you have to come clean. You have to tell them. You got to talk to your spouse about it. Let them know what's going on with your erections and release yourself. It's a burden that you carry every single day, every single second of the day, whether you're awake or asleep, because guess what? It can come to you in your sleep. You can be dreaming about what you've done. So it can affect every second of every single day. So you've got to come clean. That's number one. Now, if it's situational, then you want to figure out why it happened in the first place because you can have situational ED. Maybe you're struggling with your partner sexually, but you can get and maintain an erection with a one night stand. So if that is the case, then you need to explore what's going on and what's actually causing the problem. All right. You've got to communicate with your partner. You've got to show remorse if you cheated. Because if when you disclose your infidelity, when you're working on repairing your relationship, you've got to be prepared to have that open and honest, constructive conversation. And when you express that remorse to your partner, like that is the one of many things that will be critical to the success of your marital restoration and the reparation of your relationship. You've got to give them time to get over the initial shock and be ready for them to be angry and hurt because again, this is something that literally is devastating and it literally shakes the very foundation of your marriage. So you got to be prepared for that hurt and for that anger. You got to learn to respect your partner's boundaries. You have to be ready to wait. You have to be prepared to wait until they are ready to have sex again. They may want to call the shots about how and when you have sex, and you have to be open to that. You have to be prepared for that. I mean, you have to listen and you've got to respect those boundaries while your partner is going through the healing process. And then lastly, you want to work on your erections. You can take time to work on yourself and your erections. So there's different exercises and meditations that you can do to help you with your erections. And if you need help with that, and that's what you want to book a session for. You want to reach out, book a session, and it's something I can help you with because we definitely have got to get you away outside of managing, dealing with those feelings of stress and guilt. And I can show you how to stay out of your head during sex and ultimately how you can get and maintain an erection. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, gorgeous. How are you doing today? All right. So let's move on. I know, again, this is not an easy conversation to have, but it's one that needs to be had because I'm telling you, a lot of times erectile dysfunction literally is in the mind. It's not a physical thing, it's a psychological thing. And if we can deal with the psychological issues, then the ED oftentimes will repair itself. It will actually repair itself. I had a client, actually still my client, um, that had cheated, and the spouse was not ready to be intimate. The spouse really was like, I don't want you to touch me at all. And he was having a very difficult time being patient and allowing his spouse to get ready, to get ready to be physical again. And it wasn't that she wasn't willing, it was just she wasn't ready yet. So put yourself in this other person's perspective, in their shoes. Try to see it from their perspective, from their vantage point, from their point of view. If they had done something to you that hurt you to your core, to the point where you don't even know if you can go on in life, would you be ready to give yourself over to them physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally right after you found out that they cheated? 2 weeks after they found out, 2 months. What's that time frame for you? And I know it's hard to put a time frame on that if it's never happened to you, but just try. What do you think is a reasonable amount of time for a person to get over being cheated on? So we have to be patient with our spouses when they've been cheated on and allow them to take the lead. Give them that time to get over the shock and be ready for the mood swings, be ready for the triggers because they are going to happen. And you got to prepare yourself for that for sure. All right. So I'm surprised. No questions today, huh? No questions. That's okay. That is okay. We're going to continue this conversation next week because guess what? We won't have time to get through the other two scenarios. So next week we're going to talk about if you're worried that your man is cheating because he can't get an erection, and also we're going to talk about if you're worried your partner will cheat because you are struggling with getting and maintaining an erection. So make sure you have your face in the place for next week. Make sure that you do that so we can continue this conversation. Water Fairy, love the name, says, I know my husband cheated, but always denied it. He has ED, but he is an alcoholic too. I think without accountability, there is no chance to survive infidelity. Water Fairy, you are absolutely right. There does have to be accountability. And the reality is if there is no accountability, there is no reliability. There's no ability to trust again, to rebuild and reestablish. You just can't. You know, um, it is possible. I will say though that he may not have cheated, just because a man has erectile dysfunction, that's not always a telltale sign that he's cheated. There may be other things going on. And you mentioned the fact that he's an alcoholic. So it could be his abuse of alcohol that is causing erectile dysfunction. That's a thing. That is definitely a thing. There could be some issues that are going on medically with him. I'm not sure if you were watching from the beginning, but there's some specific medical conditions that also can lead to erectile dysfunction. So there are many, many different scenarios there that could be causing your husband's erectile dysfunction. He needs to go and get a checkup. He needs to go see the doctor, get a full workup. And if there definitely has been infidelity in your marriage, you need to reach out to us, Water Fairy. Let us help you all out. Let us help you get back on track towards restoring your marriage because it is possible. And sometimes, as spouses, we can't receive from our spouse. We need to hear it from someone else. And so getting in front of, a practitioner oftentimes will help put you on the right path. I love what you said. Adrian, you're waiting until the end. Listen, I just keep going unless people ask me questions because I have so much content to share with you. I just keep going. So moving forward, don't wait till the end because I'll keep going. All right. So Adrian says, do women peak sexually late 30s, 40s, and men peak 20s, early 30s? Good question. Saucy. I love it. Well, I will tell you this that it does vary. It does vary from woman to woman and from man to man. But I will say that it's actually you're right around the right track in terms of the sexual peaks. I will say that yes, for women it's usually late 30s, early 40s for women, and for men they tend to reach their sexual peak in their late teens to early 20s. So crazy how that happens and how we are so different and on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to that. But the thing is there's hope for us. We just have to make adjustments and we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do so that we can still satisfy our partners. And it is possible, it is doable, and it's feasible. And if you're struggling with it and you need help, reach out, make a discovery call. But thank you, excuse me, so much for your question. And I hope you will be back next week as we continue this conversation and bring your questions back next week because I will happily answer them. All right, you all enjoy the rest of your day. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, if you're coming to the gala, make sure you're at my table. All right, because you heard it on SOS. Have a good day, everybody. Bye bye. Take care.